Welcome back to Week 2, Day 4 of the CasualEAL Competitive League of Legends League. Today, our last match of today will be Credible Holk and Friends versus Anarchy Amber in what should be a very interesting match in the Freljord division.
Absolutely. Freljord division is going to be a bit different than the streamer division that we just watched. So let's see how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, absolutely. Very close, just one division below, but should lead to some interesting dynamics in the difference between scrim partners and how people perceive how the game should be played. Maybe we get to see a bunch more Galileo like we did earlier, which was very surprising to me. Now let's roll it into pick ban.
Absolutely. So starting off with the pick ban, we can see that they both teams drafted a overall pretty good skirmish ready team comp, and the Malphite Diana, that's a lot of burst AP damage. Morgana, they drafted the Morgana into the Leona, which is a great work as far as Hulk goes, canceling out the Leona. The Syndra was a early flex, which ended up going in the bot lane. Far
Very
as
interesting
both
indeed,
comps
right?
go, I think that they are pretty even, honestly. It might be more down to individual player and teamwork with this comp.
Sure. I think the Morgana ends up doing double duty too, bot lane. Countering the Syndra stun and the Leona engage can be really difficult. So I think
Absolutely.
if Anarchy Amber wants to get an advantage in that bot lane, they're really going to have to synergize their engage so that the Black Shield is destroyed by the raw Syndra damage before Leona blows all of her CC. Meanwhile, the cast in mid lane into the Diana is very interesting and trade heavy, where Caston obviously loses every lane early. He will super hard outscale, but the rest of his team doesn't. It falls off super hard. So it's going to be a really interesting dynamic in late game team fights where the Olaf falls off a cliff. They have no consistent damage carry, and all of the damage is really going to be coming out of AP sources and Aatrox flanks. So it's going to be really interesting to see if this Varus can hard carry this late game while his front line is off trolling around with the rest of Anarchy Amber.
I think something that we should have considered for Anarchy Amber was taking a ADC after you saw the Morgana drafted. The Syndra didn't have to go bot lane unless if the mid laner didn't have a comfortable Syndra.
I think,
Um,
and I think that's the concern with the Diana too, right? Diana into Syndra can be disastrous for the Syndra if she's not really on point with her E's, and
Fair enough. Absolutely.
probably wanting to get better lane assignment there with the cast in counter pick and the hard out scale. But we should see how this plays out and move into game.
Very well.
Awesome. Now joining us in game here, we do see that Leona has a stopwatch and Morgana has a stopwatch. Just fixing this Varus and Morgana here on my screen. The Syndra did take exhaust actually. There's no ignite in this bot lane despite it being such a high pressure kill lane. What do you think about that?
I'm honestly pretty surprised with how they would probably want to take a lot of these earlier fights. It's kind of shocking that they wouldn't take the kill pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a little bit of... I want to say it makes a little bit of sense to take the exhaust on Syndra in particular so that she can survive Diana and Kayn engages. But what doesn't make sense to me is the heal on Leona. I think that's just a holdover from people's old playstyles, thinking that heal is a must-have in the bot lane, rather than the current meta, which is seeing heal dropped a lot more often, because it just does not save you from the massive amount of damage coming out of a lot of these solo lane and junglers.
I think with what both of the bot lane for Hulk is looking to do, they're trying to catch you. If Leona lands a Q and Varus can follow that up with his ulti, there's not much escape potential, even if you have a heal. So I think maybe this could have possibly been a decent cleanse game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's certainly good precedent for that on both sides too. Here, like the Boris, even though he has a black shield, could be forgiven for going cleanse just because of the counterplay that we described earlier with the Syndra damage.
Absolutely.
We did see a really uneventful level 1. As normal, Diana's going to shove in Caston super hard. She gets the entire first wave before Caston even gets the last hit. Not Caston's fault. This is how this lane's always going to go. She's going to have a super large trading advantage early game until the Caston really gets levels and items. Top lane should be super... It should actually, I think it's Aatrox favored when the Malphite has Comet. Until Malphite starts stacking his own.
I think the Malphite Aatrox lane is actually going to... Wow.
Oh, the engage coming out bot lane. The stun goes down on the Morgana. Varus actually, though, just gets away just barely with only a little bit of HP. The level 2 power spike coming out big with a huge Syndra stun there. And I hate to say it, but Ignite would have been a kill there. Another stun coming out, though. It might be a kill. Black Shield comes down, but that doesn't protect against the auto attack. He has to flash away. Kane's here to answer, but the exhaust now coming out big. Flashes away. Varus trying to get back into this lane, trying to get what pressure he can, but that's 2 successful engages in the first 3 minutes of the game bot lane.
This was a really strong start for Amber so far, for sure. Especially
bot lane. Outplay by the Malphite there, too. Just staring at that Aatrox like, I ain't walking back. That Aatrox like, you're gonna walk back. Like, I'm standing here and I'm hitting. We see continued trades mid lane. It's going to be this. Caston starting to be able to contest now that he has all of his abilities available, but that's only when his E's up. Malphite's in trouble here. He's going to get pulled back by the Aatrox, but Aatrox doesn't have Q up, so it's all right. Kane will steal the Scuttle Crab, though. That puts him in a huge advantage here if he can survive. Diana's roaming up from mid lane. Caston not too far behind. Diana needs to flash out here, will get out. Kane's still alive, but the Olaf's looking to chase with his axes. Kane will pop out on the right side of the wall, and they will all walk away alive. Malphite Zoom, though, did not start Corrupting Potion, did start Dorn's Shield, and is looking for a Q build, and that's going to be a problem for him up top lane. Olaf will take the blue, give it to Kassadin. That's ballsy. That's, like, Kassadin does not need mana as badly early game in lane, but this will just actually make this Diana's life hell.
It was really impressive for both teams coming in very quickly, especially just over a Scuttle. It seemed like that red and blue just both showed up within seconds of each other, honestly.
Yeah, it's great roaming. If I have one criticism, it's the fact that Anarchy Amber on the red side here is trying to take fights in the river when they have a Caston. That Caston roamed up, and it was good that he followed, but he's a Caston, he shouldn't be roaming up. You should not expect him to roam up. He got the blue buff out of it, it worked out, but it's really risky. And it's only saved by the fact that Kane is so weak early game and Olaf is just a monster.
With Aatrox absolutely punishing the Malphite up top, though. And Malphite has to be careful not to overstay here.
Yeah, I think Malphite's going to take the reset here now that the wave's not directly on his turret. Back. I hope to see him either build a Corrupting Potion or just some flat armor, probably double cloth armor here. And build
I'm thinking the armor would be great right now, especially considering who he's going against.
See the Bambi Cinder come out, a little bit of wave push to keep the wave under control. Kane's still going in though, he doesn't get to the other side of the wall, and I think he's going to fall. That's first blood to the Olaf. He's looking for Diana, but just misses the axe just barely.
Kane didn't make the decisive move of running all the way through the wall, and he definitely got punished for it.
Yeah, I think just trying a little too hard to get his passive stacks there, trying too hard to be Rost. Just, you gotta see it a little bit more to this Olaf. It was ballsy enough for him to try and go for the Spike Steal on the Scuttle top side, but that fight just, you don't have priority bot lane, and you can't fight an Olaf at level 4. Olaf, holy cow, look at that HP on the side there. He does get Dragon though.
Just makes him clear faster. You know?
Yeah, it's fast clear. Please don't execute. Olaf, I'm just watching your HP on the side of my screen, and you are playing a dangerous game. Alright, he's safe. Alright, that's, that man knows his limits. He must be an Olaf main.
Doing it for
Mid lane's,
efficiency, you know?
mid lane's actually reaching a point now, thanks to the blue buff. And moreover, from just the blue buff, but Kane's engaging onto the Syndra, the exhaust will get number one. Oh, Nami gets clipped by the Morgana Q though. That's a big deal. Kane can get onto her, but it's Leona and she just presses W. Alright. Bot lane will get away, sort of unscathed, first of summoners. Both combat summoners down bot lane. Both flashes, well, actually, Leona flash still up, Cinder flash still down from the earlier place. Kane's really looking to transform. He's just trying to farm his passive as much as really reasonably possible here. Just keeps going in, keeps looking for ganks, keeps looking for trades. Anything that doesn't kill him makes him stronger.
Something I'm surprised about is the fact that when the Malphite went back, he went for his Bomby Cinder. Like, especially considering that we thought he might go for the armor or the corrupting. It's a bit strange.
I think if I were to put a rationale behind this, it's the idea that he wants to be able to push in the wave and be able to pressure the Olaf with the Kayn and keep his mid laner safe. But the dive comes in top lane and you're not respecting that rock solid damage.
Wow.
That's a lot of damage coming out of that Malphite. Bambi Cinder, by the way, does not proc on anything other than Malphite ulti, so he was planning this the whole time.
1,000 IQ play.
That is the 10k IQ play right there. Yeah, as Malphite, the Q max is really coming online, and so long as he has mana, he's chunking the crap out of this Aatrox with every Q. It's really brutal. See the Diana here shadowing the Kayn while they steal the opponent red buff, making sure that the Olaf doesn't show up, and if they do, that they are able to trade back with a lot of ferocity. Caston and base resetting. Does look like they're going for the Rod of Ages first. Most Caston builds these days see Rod of Ages into tier, which gives you an idea of how hard scaling that build is. They normally don't get tier until 15 to 18 minutes, and they still need to full stack it for them to be a champion. Aatrox, though, getting engaged on by the Kayn here, and the Malphite. Malphite's Doom, Kayn not so much, but he might just turn it on to Kayn. That's Aatrox you're looking at. That man don't care. Caston's coming in, looking for the kill. Malphite still no ulti into sight. Aatrox going in deep. Kayn dies to the flash Castonine, but Malphite looks like he will barely just get away. Or not, he's turning in, and he will get away.
What
Okay.
What an awesome play coming from Anarchy's top lane. Being able to sustain that 2v1 and then turn it and result in a kill for the Kassadin. That's really awesome.
And that's going to accelerate Caston a lot. He's still losing in CS mid lane, as you'd expect, but getting that kill is going to put him so much closer to the Rod of Ages, and if he does choose to do so, so much closer to the Arcane staff. Going in on Diana now just doesn't care. He's taking the trades with red buff, and Diana's like, I can't deal with a red buff Kassadin. I can't extended trade against this like I'm supposed to. Caston's doing it again. He doesn't care. He knows the Kayn can't do anything. That's not Ross. There's no CC. He's just going to ult back out if they come in. And he's still got TP. Just has to be careful about not getting one shot. He's going back in again. Diana's going to blow everything. See if he can get the kill. Will he turn it back? He will get the kill with the ulti on the last stack. That Caston's out of control.
So strong right now, especially considering that bot lane, the Syndra is up around 30 CS. That's amazing.
Yeah, and this is Syndra Leona lane, after those level 2 spikes, gets another stun in. Leona's not 6 yet, though. Can't quite go in for the kill. I think we need to see either a lot more passivity out of this bot lane, or a boot rush to dodge these stuns, or some real quick fingers on Morgana to get rid of all of these Syndra stuns. I think I'd max Black Shield in this lane. I'm not gonna lie.
It wouldn't be a bad max, especially considering that it seems like they're they're gaining, like...
TP coming in bot lane though, and the Barisol comes out onto the Syndra. Malphite's behind her, doesn't even need to ulti, will give the kill to the Baris, turning on the Leona. That might be a mistake, because Leona tried to turn it, but it's a 4 versus 1. Leona's trying to run away, she flash heals out, Olaf trying to peel for her, but now he's on the run. Malphite's chasing her down. And Olaf looking to slink away, throw an axe, gets queued by Malphite, but he'll live.
Wow.
Now they're looking at the dragon. Another pick onto Olaf, blows his ulti. That means they will not be able to contest this dragon safely, and if they do, they will be giving their life for it. I really think
team
that...
play as far as Holk goes.
AA coming in here. The Olaf really wants to fight. The Caston really wants to fight. Jumping in 1 versus 5, but I don't know if he'll survive. He looks for as long as he can, but the Diana gets the 2-man ulti off onto the Aatrox now. Aatrox looking to fall. He will fall down. Olaf getting chased out. Syndra has returned with the stun, but it is not enough to turn this fight yet. Syndra looking for the Malphite. Malphite has no ulti. He has no escape. Diana jumping back in. She still has her E. Jumping in again. Looking for the Syndra. Kills her. Olaf's going in. He'll get 1. He'll get 2. And he falls at the end. That should be Dragon, though.
It seemed like Anarchy there was all set and minded to engage, and they started the engage, but they didn't have the rest of their team there. While at the same time, Holk did. Holk had their entire team there ready for the fight, and they answered. That Olaf did amazing turning 2 kills though.
Yeah,
so
that's
it
really
wasn't a complete loss.
He turned 2 kills with no ulti there. It's like he just walked in like, hey, no, this is my town. You get out. I'm Olaf. I'm level 6. I don't need ulti. I have plus a million stats anyways because of my ulti's a dumb ability. I love it. And man, strong. We do see the Rift Herald being dropped mid lane before plates fall too. This is going to be their last chance to get this plate gold onto the Caston. Hopefully he's able to get in range of this turret so that he can get some of this gold and further accelerate his build. He will not, unfortunately, get any of the gold there. He's just outside of the AoE range, but the Olaf will pick up the full 320 gold, and that should help snowball him into his 1 item, 1.5 item, however you call jungle items, power spikes. We're gonna hitting a Q on to the Leona, pretty inconsequential, just the poke damage, where top lane continues to trade. Once Aatrox completes his first item, he should be a lot more even against this Malphite. And I should see, like, Malphite needs, oh, but the E misses, the ulti misses bot lane. The ulti misses bot lane again. Everyone's missing bot lane, but the TP's coming in from the top side. Now that it's a mismatch, it's actually the Caston, and he's gonna pick up another kill. That Caston's 3-1, top lane's fighting. I don't know if this Aatrox is gonna be able to get this kill, though. The Malphite's still pretty tanky, and he's just gonna walk away. Ulti burned top side for both people. The Malphite did cancel the Aatrox TP with his ulti there, though. Olaf now clearing some pink wards around Dragon, just trying to be part of this game as well. Bot lane doesn't stop, and it's oh, the stun going on to the Diana. We're fighting again. Leona engaging. Caston's over the wall. Caston's looking for another kill, and he's gonna get it. He needs to ulti it again, but Nida dodges it. Turns the kill back with Forest onto the Caston, and now there's another fight. Mid lane jungler. The better jungler is clearly Kane here. And it's done. That's a 2-for-0.
These fights never stop. They're across the map, scattered. It's astounding.
AutoCamp's confused and doesn't know what to do. Now top lane's fighting. There's no Malphite ulti. There's no kill threat yet, but who knows in the future. Wow. That Aatrox needs to reset right now before that Malphite ulti comes up. Oh, the Kate, no, wait, the Kate flashes in, but he's just too late to get the Aatrox. For those of you who don't know, there is a quarter-second grace period on your recall where normally any damage will interrupt it, but during the last quarter-second, only CC interrupts your recall, and that is what happened there. Just barely. Game of milliseconds. Did they nerf Kane's move speed recently? If they did, that's what caused that kill to get away. Hey, but wait, we're fighting mid, and we're fighting in the jungle. I don't know if that Kane's gonna win that. That Olaf's pretty strong, but Caston's fighting Diana. I don't know if Caston's gonna win it. Caston's gonna get out, but Kane's still fighting. Now they're fighting top lane with Aatrox, and oh my god, this fighting never stops. I asked for a little break. My voice is not gonna stop. Kane's getting engaged on by the Aatrox, flashed by the Aatrox, huge ulti by the Malphite, turning the fight around. Will they kill Aatrox? They can't kill Aatrox. Aatrox or Olaf. There's too much HP. Diana looking for the fight now, but I don't think she has an E or an ulti. She does have the ulti. She's going in on the Olaf. Gets the kill. Kane's looking to turn it. The Aatrox is still alive, but the Castin's here now with no HP. He's turning it on. And oh my god, that's 2 more kills. You know, there's a fight bot lane. They flash out, but the Morgana gets caught by the Leona. The Syndra's trying her best, and Leona's getting kited by the Varus, and she won't go down. She flashes out, and the Syndra kills the Varus. Save me!
What an overall amazing turnout for Anarchy there. Getting several kills topside and getting the kills bot side.
I'm not speaking tomorrow. I want everyone to know I'm not speaking tomorrow.
A 50 gold CS, 50 minion CS lead for that Syndra at bot lane, and
she gets another stun on the Morgana, looking for another kill. The Black Shield comes out, keeps her alive, and she'll flash away from the last Q. I hope you heard that sigh.
I did. It's very audible.
The fighting never stops.
Fighting
never stops. All right, tell me how the game's gonna go. Who's ahead?
So currently, Anarchy's ahead with about 2.5k lead, leading for gold. But it looks like most of that gold is really scattered. It's across the entire map, except for top lane where it's around at a 500 gold deficit. That's mostly just due to kills though, and we're still waiting for a lot of team play to happen. We've been seeing constant skirmishes, constant fighting, 3v3s, 2v2s, all across the entire map. This game is still open, either person's game.
Absolutely. Castin, though, he does look like he hasn't even built the tier yet. He might be building a different build. Wait, see the Malphite ulti come in on the Dragon. The Olaf secures it, though. Olaf ulti, massive Diana ulti out in the back line. Boris is stunned. He's trying to do all the DPS he can, but he can't get that much out. They're too tanky. They're healing too much on the side of AA. They're trying to chase down the Malphite now. The Syndra flash stun. Ulti, the Boris, and he's down. They're trying to chase the Malphite under turret. They might just be able to get this, and this is a 5 for 3. 5 for 2 even. 3 men left alive on the side of Anarchy Amber.
Another excellent show. As soon as the team fight begins, the
fighting never stops. It's awesome. Dragon secured by Anarchy Amber. Looking for that cloud, those cloud souls. It's no one's close to cloud point yet, let's be honest.
Honestly, it's going to be really interesting seeing how this game turns out, because there is that amazing late game scaler of Kassadin, and he's in no way too far behind, especially against such an oppressive early player. So
yeah, I want to really highlight that the Kassadin did just pick up his tier, which means he has a 19-minute tier of the Goddess, and Kassadin's real damage does not come online until he gets his Archangels, which means he needs to fully stack a tier, and mark my words, when that tier is fully stacked, this game is over. There is now a clock on this game. Credible Hulk needs to win before that tier is stacked.
The huge advantage that Holk can have is if they do concentrate all that.
Diana engaging on a Malphite. Great, pulls him back with her ulti into the Malphite ulti, and Kane's there to clean it up.
They have a lot of targeted AoE damage.
Kassadin doesn't even need kills at this point. He just needs to be alive and stacking that tier.
It might be to Kassadin's benefit to go off to a side lane and get the solo XP from there, and not be harassed by every person that can possibly roam mid. And
absolutely. Oh, we see a flash from Kane coming out on Leona. A little bit questionable there. Diana not in position to follow up. Leona will just walk away safely. They don't want me to rest either. Alright,
so as far as the game goes, Kane has made really aggressive flashes very consistently. He's flashed under tower trying to stop recalls. He's flashed right straight forward into the enemy team. so far we haven't seen him die due to the lack of flash, but it might come sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really hampers some of his team fight impact too, which is a worry. They really need the Kayn to be doing a lot of work onto the champions like Syndra, well, really just Syndra in this fight, and keeping her off of the Varus and off of the Morgana, if at all possible. See, Diana, just, that Caston was in a weird spot, very far out, but he will just Rift Walk away. He doesn't care. He's a level 11 Caston with near infinite mana.
They did rotate him bot lane though, which is what I did just mention. Him getting the soul XP out of harm's way for just a little bit might be a huge advantage for Anarchy.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Anarchy is getting a lot of vision control in the bottom side jungle, making sure that they can contest this next dragon when it does eventually spawn in 1 minute and 20 seconds.
That map is very red.
Very much so, completely lit up, and they really need Malphite to just be face checking these brushes because he's the only one who can survive. That Malphite needs magic resist before they can take a confident team fight. I think
Absolutely.
that Credible Hulk should really aim to give up the next dragon. I don't think fighting here is a good idea, even though Caston is still scaling. I think it's going to be really, really, really dangerous for them to take a fight here when the Olaf is in the middle of his power spike. The Aatrox and the Syndra are both in the middle of their power spike, and they have no vision.
They don't have any vision, but they do have every ulti up right now. And that's a huge thing that I do like about Hulk's composition is the Malphite burst, Diana burst. It's all about that engage, instant damage, and if they take out some key carries within just that quick glimpse of their damage, it's really hard to like counteract that in any way, shape, or form because it's so instantaneous. There's so little counterplay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too, right? If they can get the pick onto the backline, onto the Caston, or onto the Syndra, then they might be able to pull out the team fight from there. It looks like they've made a really good push into the bot side jungle to clear out this vision, and now they might actually be able to posture around this dragon. But Malphite's going to need to TP in if they want to do that. And there's no flank wards currently.
And it looks like they are conceding it by...
they're going to take mid pressure, look to push down mid tier 2, which is probably an even better choice because now they can pick anyone off as they walk in. Leona's engaging,
Leona
there's no one
ulti
there
by
with her,
herself.
she's just alone. They just need to turn onto this Leona, they're confused too, they don't know what's happening. Aatrox gets down and it looks like another team fight starting, Leona gets knocked out. Malphite, huge combo! Holy cow, the 4-man Diana combo onto the backline, but I don't know if it's enough, only Syndra's left! And the Varus is gonna look to snipe her down. She's walking away with 1 HP, and is that gonna be enough? Will Varus find her? He won't, but they are looking at that inhib turret.
It's exactly as I said with both the Malphite ult and Diana ult coming down and doing so much damage. It's really, really hard
And
to...
the Syndra will fall to the Varus snipe. As you said, yeah, the Malphite Diana combo absolutely destroying Anarchy Amber there.
Right now, they really need that MR somewhere across their comp, just because right now, it's one shot, one kill almost, as far as Malphite Diana combo.
Yeah, absolutely. If that Malphite ulti wasn't even that severe, it only hit, I think, 2 or 3 frontliners, which obviously great Malphite ulti, but then the Diana comes in from the side, pulls the Syndra and the Cassidon into it, and just absolutely demolishes them on top of a Varus ult. Chains of Corruption spreading to every member, I think, there. Absolutely disgusting. Wow, Varus just sitting there free hitting. Varus, in fact, built a Maw Malmortius second item. That's the type of ingenuity I like to see against these super heavy AP comps. Won't do much good for him against Olaf, but he can just kill the Olaf with damage. This Olaf's going to start falling off really hard now, and it's only on the Caston to really, really output a lot of this damage.
That Maw shows so much respect, honestly. Grabbing a defensive item right after your Blade the Rune King.
Anna will go in, ults in the Aatrox, trying to look for the kill, but I don't know if it'll be enough. The Aatrox will disengage, but the Leona's onto the Varus now. Hey, Aatrox flashes in and one-shots the Varus. Now the Olaf is chasing down onto the Diana, and it's just not enough. That was too far. Olaf's still strong, I lied.
Great skirmish coming in from the side of Anarchy, coming in and absolutely turning the tides there.
quick stack update for us, by the way. That Caston is at 344 stacks on that tier. Halfway stacked, that means we can probably expect it stacked around 32 minutes. And you know what's at 32 minutes? That's gonna be another Baron. Because this Baron's already gone. Hopefully that Olaf doesn't die to it. That'd be really, really awkward right now. But there's no way to contest this Baron. Caston's gonna have its upgraded Archangels for their team's second Baron.
Awesome
This
Baron.
is risky. This is bad. This is a hard game state to come back from. They really need to look for another wombo combo like you talked about.
Honestly, Anarchy's doing a great job holding control over objectives and grabbing both Dragon and then Baron. It's really going to be difficult for Hulk to get back in this, especially considering that like the amount of damage is centered around a team fight. Individually, they can't go in one at a time trying to fight these singular members of Anarchy.
No, you're absolutely right. What Anarchy should really be doing here is they can split the map so effectively with this Aatrox, with this Caston, just throwing one of them into each side lane and 1-3-1ing while Syndra hard wave clears. It's gonna be so hard. Like, Malphite needs to flash onto that Syndra, but that Syndra just needs, if she just respects the Malphite engage, it's gonna be so hard to engage on the 3 people mid lane. And then, even then, there's double TP from Caston and Aatrox coming in behind you, and that Varus is just going to be obliterated. Right now, we see the Cloud Soul point, actually, for Anarchy Amber spawning in 44 seconds right now. And they're really looking to get some pressure or a pick onto this Malphite before that happens. Malphite's 1v3, but he should have ulti up. Will he ulti away? He will, but that means there's no Malphite ulti for the fight, and he still might be picked. Syndra ulti's coming down on me. Will Zanya's it. The Aatrox, though, just on top of the backline, absolutely demolishing the squishy. He will fall. Kane with a massive knock-up onto 4. Kane will be inside the Caston. Caston can't get into this team fight. Maybe they overstep. Another Diana ulti. That they're all so low. Varus kills them all. They're all dead. Cloud Soul doesn't matter. They can get the Cloud. Wait, they're TPing in. Malphite's TPing in the game.
No.
Can they do it? No way. No way they can end the game here. He's looking at the turrets. He's got 2 super minions. If he can clear these basic little minions, then he can actually end the game. The rest of his team's abandoned him, though. The Aatrox is coming. They're just going to take the Cloud. They know they can't make it there in time, but that is one Nexus turret down. Oh, if only there was one more TP available, that game would have been over.
That was quite the astonishing fight. We could reminisce on that. Hulk was being picked out, and they rotated their entire team and went back and fought the entire team fight. Really difficult to imagine that after such a long chase, why there would be such aggression.
Yeah, I think both teams here, this is like second, third, fourth, fifth time this game, right? That there's been a slight over-aggression, and the other team has capitalized on it perfectly. Both Hulk and Anarchy Amber have done really good jobs of punishing over-aggression and turning these fights when one ulti is missed, when one cooldown is used too aggressively, and just really swinging the game back and forth on this pendulum. We see identical gold, essentially, at 30 minutes, despite it being a 44 kill game, and the only gold difference really coming from farm.
Looking across the lanes, it's kind of strange seeing such even gold. Like, I don't know. It's an even game, and every team fight, the next one might be it, and that's how it has been throughout this entire game.
Absolutely. If there's one saving grace, right? Or perhaps one major advantage right now, it's double TP up is up. We see the Kane engaging onto the Castle, but I don't know if this is a fight he wants to take. I lied. This is definitely a fight he wants to take, and that Castle is just dead. What the hell happened? What?
Kane getting buffed every patch. That's
Kane's
what we
been
just saw
buffed
right
every
there.
Patch. We're on 10-9, by the way. This is pre-Kane nerf.
Yeah.
Caston
Oh.
this doesn't have to. Oh, the flash Malphite
Wow.
ulti onto the Syndra. The Syndra's gonna die to the Diana ulti. Protobell did. The Olaf tries to kill her, but can't quite. Runs away. Flashes ult with his own ulti. He is gonna live, but this is a 4 versus 3, a 5 versus 3 on the map even, as if Diana's there, and they're looking to just take the inhib. This might be game. This is 5 versus 3, pushing down mid lane. Caston's up in 10 seconds though, and I don't know if they'll be able to end the game in time. That man's still big. They look to be pushing down on the turret here. Malphite ulti is not quite up yet. Varus on the front line. He doesn't carry flashes out of the way of the damage though. He goes a little too aggressive. Aatrox turns on to him, turns the kill. Caston's alive. Caston's looking for the kill. Caston's going in. He's killing one. He's killed. They're turning the fight. It's only Caston alive though. Caston can't kill these tanks. Syndra's up. He's trying. He does no damage to the Kayn though. Kayn's looking to walk away, just barely. Syndra's ulti is down. Caston's ulti is stacked. Caston has max mana though. The Black Shield goes down on the Aatrox and they run away.
During that team fight, it was astonishing to see that there were like no ultis for either side almost, and with no ultis available, it just became a slugfest, honestly.
Absolutely. Well, you see the advantage of having the Caston ulti is always up. Caston cares not about your ulti team fight costs. The Caston respawns after you blow your Diana ulti, your Malphite ulti, your Morgana ulti, your Varus ulti, and your Kayn ulti. And he comes into the fight and he's able to output a lot of damage. However, the issue here is he just completed his Zhonya's. He doesn't have a Death Cap, he doesn't have a Lich Bane, and more importantly, he doesn't have a Void Staff to chew through the magic resist that's about to start being stacked on the enemy team.
The Malphite ult with only 30% CDR just seems to never go down.
Here's another important thing. That Seraph's on Caston will be stacked in the middle of this team fight. And the Leona whiffs her flash though. They're looking at the Leona goes onto the Varus. Can the Caston get onto him? He can't. Caston's busy on another part of the team fight, turning onto the Aatrox, but it's not enough. Morgana's dead. Diana's dead. There's 3 people on top of each other. Caston onto the Varus. Varus is dead. Caston's level 16, but he will fall. Malphite super low. Aatrox trying to lifesteal through it. Oh my god, and the Kayn is just gonna clean up this Olaf at the end, and he's gonna look to push down mid and end the game with the minions. A quadra kill to the Kayn. What a fight. This Kayn is brutal. He is unstoppable.
I think he goes to take down another Nexus tower here.
I think he ends the
10
game.
10 seconds? Well, the Syndra and Leona are gonna be back up.
But the Syndra can't hurt him. Syndra doesn't even have ulti. Leona's gonna have to try and CC him, but he's got 2 super minions. They have to focus on both at the same time. Turret's dead. The Nexus is open. Leona's distracting the minions. Leona ult comes out. Syndra ulti's almost back up. His ulti's down. He goes near the fountain, but it's not enough yet. He can't break down. But the Kayn's out of mana, and the Caston's up. The Caston's getting on him, and he's dead. Oh, it's the humanity. My voice is dying.
It's crazy to see how much the Kayn can heal off of through a Morello. That was with previous wounds applied.
There's the dragon going down. That's no soul point for anyone now. Caston is fully stacked. He's got his Seraphs available. I said the game would end right now. Let's see if I'm right or if I'm just some hack. Oh man. That Nexus is open, and you know what? I didn't say who would win.
Yeah,
I did not say who would win when he stacked that Seraphs.
Oh my god.
It looks like they're pushing down bot lane. They might even try to backdoor here, but I don't know if they're going to have the speed to do it. If the enemy team if Anarchy Amber just backs here, they're looking to get the Baron, but I don't know if they have time to do this with this massive death push coming in down bot lane. They have no consistent damage on their team. This is the price for picking Syndra bot lane, guys. Caston's a great counter pick, but if you can't kill anything that stacks HP, what's it worth?
A part of Anarchy went to fight that Baron there, and that's why their recall was way delayed. If they just made the decisive move of deciding between going back or taking the Baron, one or the other one objective could have been saved.
Absolutely. We see Caston getting very close to his death cap. He's actually that Caston's 100 gold off of death cap. And jeez, that is going to be a big power spike for him. This Caston is 1v9. Olaf has fallen off a cliff. Aatrox doesn't scale much harder at this point. Malphite's super outscaling everything because he just presses R on something and it dies.
The Syndra has a 90 CS lead, yet she's still behind in gold.
It doesn't matter. There's too many turrets. There's too many kills. Syndra's doing her best, but she's Syndra. She needs a Void Staff. Caston needs a Void Staff, and Caston needs this death cap. He needs to back. Honestly, they should not care about Baron. This Caston needs death cap. He needs to go back and get that death cap right now. That death cap is going to give him 200 plus AP. Yeah, that Caston's going to get about 200 AP from this death cap purchase. And he refuses to do it. He doesn't want to give up.
He either needs to commit with a team for a fight or just get your death cap.
He doesn't want to give up pressure on the Baron. It's too risky. But they won't know if he backs. He just sits in fog. It's too risky for them to start the Baron. If Caston's there, he can one-shot you too. Looks like he's finally backing now, but meanwhile, Incredible Hulk is rotating top lane, taking a turret. Great rotation, but they might get pincered in. They're looking for the Leona's walking into them. The Olaf's walking into them. They're on to the Cade, but the Cade's alone. The Leona's alone now. They've abandoned the Leona. They can't find an engage. The Caston's too afraid to go in because it's 1v4. Caston's going in. He's onto the Leona. Caston looking for all the fights. He onto the Varus. Kills the Varus. He's onto the Malphite. The rest of the team fight is going on off screen. Malphite's gonna die to this Caston, and there's nothing he can do to stop it, but will the Cade still be able to hard carry the fight? He gets a triple, he's looking for the Quadra, and the fight will be disengaged. Cade is the only survivor. Auto Cam likes Caston more than fights.
This Kayn has been an absolute asset in every single one of these fights. He's been the one to clean up, and he's been the one to do all the damage for a good chunk of it.
Gotta be. I wish I had up-to-date stats right now. I'd love to tell you how much damage this Caston has done this game, because let me tell you, he's done the lion's share of it for every team. He still doesn't have death cap. He is currently sitting on 2,400 gold. That's a death cap. That's the start of a Void Staff. This man's coming online. He's too strong. I said the game would be over. I didn't know it would. I mean, I didn't say when it would be over. Let's say that.
Didn't say which side, didn't say when.
I didn't say when, I didn't say who would win, I did say the game would end after he got Seraphs, and it looks like I'm right.
That'd be accurate.
It will eventually end, I assume. I assume they're not gonna be here. This game was played a little while ago. We are looking at a VOD. I don't know who wins this game, I have no clue. I'm assuming they're still not playing it right now.
I mean, maybe, just maybe they sent us a sectioned VOD. They sent a part of it.
It's little
game
do they
2
know.
actually part 2.
The game never ended. Just to spite the caster curse, right?
Yeah.
All right, we see Incredible Hulk, Credible Hulk pushing down mid lane. As 5. Actually, as 4, Malphite's not there, but he does have TP to rejoin. They're just looking to burst down this end. They might even go for the Nexus if they're able to get it uncontested. Aatrox is coming in from base. It's currently a 4 versus 5. The Caston's in. They're on to the Cade. Cade's almost dead. The Diana's almost dead. The Malphite only comes in, but it whiffs. The Varus is dead. Where's the Caston? And Caston's dead in this fight. But the Malphite's almost dead too. It's only the Caston dead on the Anarchy Amber side. That's a 4 for 1. This fight won't. These fights are crazy.
40-second counters on so many. They should definitely be looking for an objective here from Anarchy.
It's Cloud Soul, or it's Baron, or it's Inhib. Who knows? Death Timers are massive. Diana's spawning at 25, but there's no TP on that champion. Everyone's spawning on 25 except for Malphite for Credible Hulk. This should be a Baron, but they still have no physical damage. They still have no consistent damage to burst this down.
They should have sent all their team to one or the other for sure. Splitting their hairs here.
Oh, but Kayn might get Cloud Soul in the middle of this.
The map. With Kayn still on the map, with Smite, it's gonna be impossible for...
Kane's gonna get Cloud Soul in the middle of this. He'll secure the Cloud Soul against the Aatrox. Caston's back up with TP though. They should be able to scare the Baron, but is that worth it? Will the Kane be able to kill this Aatrox? If the Kane kills the Aatrox, that's a 5 versus 4 on the map. Baron be damned, it does not matter. Kane kills the Aatrox. I don't know why we're looking at Caston right now, observers, but maybe we weren't. I don't know. Maybe my cam messed up. All right. My cam messed up. I was looking at Caston that whole time. It was very weird for me.
The Kane securing the soul there, especially making it so it's a 4v5, is going to make this really difficult for Anarchy to press their lead with the Baron that they just got.
Exactly.
2 open inhibs, and after that inhib's gone, there's nothing protecting the Nexus. So it really sets up for easy backdoor potential too.
All right, we've established it all game, but let's just quickly go over how each team wins these team fights.
Red has to rely pretty much entirely off of the CC that their team brings and the damage from their Caston. While Blue, they have this sustained damage carry from the Cade, and Vars, if he's not shut down, he's going to be doing constant damage. He went his DPS build instead of a lethality build, which makes it so he can shred front to back very easily.
Exactly, and on top of that, there's still the giant wombo potential coming out of Credible Hulk. This game rests on a knife's edge. There's no objectives up on the map. So normally you think that means there's no reason to fight, but these teams have told me anything but that. We fight so that we create objectives.
It's really hard to tell where this game's going to go out, especially considering that it's so back and forth. Every single time someone takes something, someone else gets something else across the map.
Absolutely, and the waves are always in such a weird position that no team can actually end the game or take any insurmountable advantages off of these fights.
We're going in on 45 minutes here.
45 minutes, Elder Dragon in 4 minutes, Baron in 4 minutes. Both are spawning at the same time. And this is actually a big macro thing that some teams I see make the mistake. They will go for Baron when Elder is up. Don't do this, guys. Elder is the best objective League of Legends has ever seen.
Elder just makes it so you win those team fights. It doesn't matter how much Baron can affect.
So we're gonna see a clash. Malphite's looking for the ulti, but he's not gonna be in range of any of them as Anarchy Amber just disengages. They know they can't take any grouped up team fights with Aatrox mid lane while he's clearing. I'd really like to see... Well, I don't even know at this point. They just gotta... Both teams gotta stare at each other until one of them makes a mistake.
They're
a 6-item Olaf. When's the last time you've seen a 6-item Olaf and the game's not over?
I don't know.
Oh, man. And when Kane steals the red buff, I think, from Aatrox, everyone's confused. I don't know why he's there. Aatrox doesn't know why he's there, but he's got a red buff, and that's a huge benefit, actually, in this next fight. Caston is actually only 300 gold off of Void Staff, too. Kane gets picked by the Syndra, but it's not going to be enough. But is it? He gets knocked out of the wall into 4 people. He's 1v4. He's inside of the Caston, and Caston's going to take him over the wall outside of his team. Caston's going to dash away. Kane separated from his team, but it doesn't matter. Kane's on to Leona. Leona's alone now. Leona and Kane. Misses on to Morgana. Malphite only ultis one. Aatrox is going in. The Caston's low. Caston's going to fall very soon. The GA is down. Olaf is dead. Oh, man. Boris is back alive. Team fight's over. It's a 3-0 for the side of the Credible Hulk. 4-0. Leona's the only one alive, and this game is over.
So what we just saw there was the Kassadin, as soon as he fell, so did the chances of them winning that fight. They don't have enough damage to affect a Malphite that's going to be eating it all up. There's nothing that could have been done after that huge loss of DPS.
Absolutely. Great team fighting, great outscaling from the side of Credible Hulk. This is where you see the lack of consistent damage bite you. I really thought that Caston would be able to just roll over everyone in team fights due to the lack of consistent CC effects to hit him. But they did just such a great job of saving either Varusol, Morgana Bind, Kane W, or Malphite ulti, or Diana ulti even, just to CC that Caston for long enough for something to get on him and one-shot him. You really see... Sorry, go ahead.
It was such a great game, honestly. I'm glad I was casting it because it was so back and forth. It didn't leave a point where it wasn't entertaining to watch because it was you don't know what was happening in any of these fights.
Yeah, these fights back and forth. I have to cast casting this. I was casting these team fights off of the HP bars on the side of the screen. I couldn't keep track of anything. Everything's dashing everywhere, flashing everywhere, going through walls. Ulti's knocking people up. It's incredible.
Almost seemed like we
Excellent
needed two
gameplay.
different streams just to keep up with all the fights that were happening across the map.
Yeah. Jeez. I hope game 2 is this good, but also I hope my voice does not break in the middle of it. All right. We'll be back with our final game of the night. It is Anarchy Amber versus Credible Hulk, Game 2. Let's hope it's as good as that one.
Absolutely.
Welcome back. This is going to be the last game of the CEAL Week 2 Day 4 gameplay. We've had a lot of games today, and I think this is about to be our 10th game of the day, in our 5th match of the day, in our probably 6th, 8th hour of the day. And our last game was just absolutely incredible between Anarchy Amber and Credible Hulk. non-stop fighting back and forth the entire game. No one knew who was going to win, and I was certainly definitely wrong about how the game was going to end.
I mean,
Oh,
you weren't wrong. You just uh, called a early prediction. That's all.
yeah, Gaston can't do it all, unfortunately. We're going into our last game of the night, as I said, between Anarchy Amber and Credible Hulk. Last game, absolute destruction on my voice, and I hope this game is every bit as exciting as the last one. Let's get into pick ban.
Okay, coming into pick ban, it seems like right away you notice that Anarchy banned away the Kane. That's a lot of respect to Hulk's jungle player, seeing as how well he did on the pick last time. On the other side, Hulk is the one to ban out the Diana, and they also ban out Syndra this game. So even though that they knew that the bot lane wasn't going to go Syndra, they still didn't want to see the mid laner pick up.
Yeah, and that's can be noted that they picked up Orianna afterwards, and that might be a nod to the fact that they don't want to play the Orianna Syndra skill matchup. Perhaps Winged Nation, who's the mid laner for Hulk, is a notable Syndra player, and that's part of the reason the flex pick got through last game. But playing the Orianna Syndra skill matchup can be really, really tedious as the Orianna player because if you mess up once and the enemy jungler is aggressive, you will die. Whereas the Syndra side, it's much more forgiving in that sense, and you'll just lose in CS.
So on Anarchy side, we're seeing a very, very traditional front back team fighting comp. Uh, Orange ulti wants to team fight, Misfortune's ulti wants to team fight, Braum, Orianna, Hecarim, they're all there for uh, being able to fight as a group. And on the other side, we have Hulk picking something that's more pokey, and they're not looking for the same kind of fight as Anarchy is here. They're looking for individual advantage with grabbing the Trundle, which is there to eat up the Ornn, can drain out Braum, drain out Hecarim. Uh, the Ashe Sona bot lane is a uh, poking answer to something that's more engage focused. So
Absolutely.
we'll definitely have to see how that turns out.
Here's one really interesting part of this draft, actually, that some people might not pick up on. Um, As a Ziggs main, I happen to know that Ziggs ulti at level 16 with Death Cap and two other items does do 1700 damage. So as soon as they hit level 16, this team, that is a pseudo poke team fight comp on the side of Credible Hulk. As soon as they're level 16, anything that Wukong ults will die.
Wow.
Everything the light touches is dead.
I never knew this about Ziggs.
It's
This
it's
huge
really
burst.
incredible, and Ziggs turns into a heck of a team fighter late game. And it'll be really interesting to see what they can do between the Sona ulti and the Wukong ulti to set up the Mega Inferno bombs. But in the meantime, they're just going to have so much wave clear and so much poke just between the Sona and the Ashe, especially in lane phase, and the Ziggs outside of it, that it's going to be really hard, I think, for AA to get anything done other than around Dragons and Barons.
Both of these teams have drafted really awesome balanced team fights, especially considering that their damage is both AP and AD. It's really awesome, and hopefully we can see that going into this game.
Awesome. I want to see exactly what happens with this Ziggs because he's one of my favorites. Let's get into game. All right, hopping into the game here. One of the unique things about Ziggs, and I'm gonna go on about him a little bit this game just because I love my Ziggs so much. Uh, you want to go Dematerializer in a lot of games on Ziggs because if you go Dematerializer, your Q will one-shot range minions without the Luden's Echo proc. So you can actually afford to throw your E onto the
30
wave, let that
seconds
proc
until
on the
minions
melee minions
spawn.
first, and then your Q just one shots the ranged minions, and two Qs and an E will one shot every wave in the game. And it's that this is part of what makes Ziggs one of the worst things in the world to try and push into, right? However, we don't see that coming out from the Ziggs this game, which means he's going to be really, really reliant on getting ahead in gold so that he gets the extra 5 damage on his Q, scaling up above the minion scaling to be able to kill it, to be able to wave clear. So that might be a
Minions have
problem if they
spawned.
fall behind. We do see the Orianna posturing aggressively into the jungle here, looking to get some vision. Probably just getting some poke down. Does put the deep ward on the Raptor pit
They do
of
see
Credible Holk.
where it seems like Anarchy is starting blue side though, so they see Hecarim top, and they might take note of that.
Yeah, absolutely. But the peer, that ward's actually really good coming out of Credible, or Anarchy Amber here, rather. It
Yep.
will let them know where the Trundle is, regardless. If the Trundle crosses that ward, obviously you know where he is. If he doesn't cross that ward, that means you know where he is. Because there's only, you know he starts bot side. You know that if he doesn't go for that, he's going for a gank down bot lane.
Yep.
And that allows Kane to do, or rather the Hecarim this game, to do so much pressure, to apply so much pressure into the jungle or onto the top mid lane matchups.
Who would have thought Chicken Pit would have been so important?
Absolutely, Chicken Pit is the boon of every mid laner. If you're playing mid, ward that spot for your jungler. We see the Ziggs actually getting a huge amount of poke down onto Orianna. Not a common pick, you see, Ziggs, so some people are very inexperienced with how to dodge his skill shots. So it can be very difficult for certain players to keep up with his tempo early game. And we just see Orianna being forced to blow both of her HP potions really early in this lane to Ziggs 1.
It seems like every single time she goes in to try to poke, she's just countered by another bomb. It's
Yeah, luckily, I think, fortunately rather, the Orianna does have Biscuits, so she might be able to out-sustain the Ziggs in the long run. But Ziggs has TP and Orianna has Exhaust, which I didn't even realize until now. That's the problem for Orianna too. She's not going to be able to keep up with this wave clear or the tempo when Ziggs starts getting his backs off.
looks like Hecarim just barely made his way bot side. He's gonna make. I think he's gonna go for a full clear. Trundle though on the other side, he's looking to walk in.
Trundle coming in mid lane gets a little bit of damage onto Orianna, slows him enough for the Ziggs to land an ability on her and burns some mana from the Orianna escaping. Super heavy trading going on top lane. This Wukong just won't relent onto this Ornn. But Ornn should be able to tough it out in the long run thanks to his ability to craft items in lane and his TP back.
The advantage that Wukong has going into this is he ran Corrupting, so that means he's gonna have a lot of sustain into that lane, especially early.
Absolutely. I'd like to see the first back from this Ornn be a purchase of Corrupting Potion if possible. And just being able
it would
to
definitely
sustain.
even out the lane, considering right now the Wukong has so much more effective health to trade with.
Yeah, this Ornn just isn't going to be able to keep up with the raw damage. The only limiting factor on these trades is going to be Wukong's mana pool, and the Corrupting Potion plus Biscuits is going to make sure that's not running out anytime soon.
Absolutely.
Orianna is getting ganked again, though, by the Pillar. A great Pillar and a Satchel Charge, knocking her in. But she dodges a Zig Bomb. She turns it around for first blood onto the Trundle, who took 2 turret shots too many. Ziggs will answer back. Buff transfer complete, you might say, but Orianna gets the first blood.
Very impressive coming out of Orianna, being able to not only get the kill, but get the first blood. It's really great.
Yeah, and that's the, actually, that's the exhaust counterplay coming in there. The exhaust slows Trundle enough that he takes an extra turret shot. I don't think he was expecting that. It's just getting slowed under turret there, taking 2 turret shots, then he's a level 4 Trundle. He's not very tanky yet, at all.
I wasn't expecting that at all. I didn't expect the exhaust to be ran on Ori, and for it to come in use so early on.
Now the Ziggs has already used his TP too, and he's only got double Dorn's rings to account for it. He's out of mana. This Orianna's in a commanding position in mid lane. Bot lane will continue to trade. It's not too volatile in that bot lane. Of course, there's a lot of gank setup with the Braum if the Ashsona pushes in. But unless you can proc Braum passive, there's no real kill pressure.
With the Braum Misfortune bot lane, they've been pushed forward a lot, so it makes it very difficult for their jungler to be able to.
The Pillar cancels the E, and the it's level 6 on the Wukong, but he's gonna die to turret. A little bit over aggressive there on the dive, but the Ornn will at least miss a few minions before he gets his TP back in the lane.
I actually don't know what happened with the Pillar, because
the Pillar interrupted the Ornny, I think.
I always thought that if it wasn't exactly under him, then it would end up just knocking up everyone around it and destroying the pillar.
I suppose Ziggs actually. Wait, Ziggs got red buff. Buff transfer complete, by the way.
Oh,
Trading
wow.
onto Oriana. The auto attacks are going to be enough, and he's going to get the kill onto Oriana. Oriana down flash, isn't able to answer back, and ran out of mana too. I don't know how Ziggs got all of his mana back, but he did. Maybe he backed with while I was looking somewhere else and missed it. In fact, he indeed did, getting that CS advantage back too from when he missed getting that back and the kill, rewarding him in spades.
It's that double Doran's ring. What can you say?
Yeah, double door ring, pretty broken. It's strong items, very strong items. As we were saying earlier, this bot lane's pretty just push farm oriented early game, but as soon as that MF Braum hits level 6, there's a real kill threat onto that Sona. If she gets clipped by a Braum Q into the Braum ulti and MF just layers the ulti on top of it, she will die before she hits the ground.
Something I wish I saw from the bot lane was them to play it back enough that their Hecarim could make a play, because currently their Hecarim's just been on perma farm duty and not been able to make any great ganks just because of how forward lane has been.
We'll see a Trundle gank coming in bot lane. MF will flash away, but she's flashed right into the Trundle. She's slowed, but she's got under turret in time. Braum will walk away right behind her while getting poked down by the Ashe and the Sona, and they will both live. Braum doesn't even have to blow any summoners.
Yeah, both sums off of the misfortune currently.
That's a big deal for the all-in, or another regain. Wukong continues to trade, but this Ornn is just too tanky at this point. Wukong's not able to keep up with the damage scaling anymore. He needs to take a step back. But the Hecarim's toppling, the Ornn ulti comes out. Wukong will flash both ultis, flash under turret, almost turns it onto the Hecarim for a 1v2 solo kill, but can't quite get in range for the second ulti.
Okay, well, looking at the current game state, it's gold-wise, it's extremely even. And across the map, the only person that has
Ornn going in under the turret, but Wukong will clone away. Ornn's under the turret, he's gonna take another turret shot, he's gonna die! That's too aggressive, man! You can't go for that without ulti or ignite! Oh, jeez.
Only huge CS difference has been in jungle, with the Hecarim being like 15 CS up.
Yeah, and that's a common thing you'll see with these talisman junglers versus the machete junglers. It's going to be a lot easier for Hecarim to full clear, especially when he's not focused on ganking as much. And he should generate... honestly, I think Hecarim should be a lot farther ahead in farm right now if you're counting the plethora of ganks that the Trundle has gone for this game.
It's looking that the Trundle assist gold has definitely kept him up there, though.
Yeah, he's still relevant in levels, thankfully. And keeping up reasonably well in farm, too. Okay farm point for him, too, being at 50 farm right now.
Yeah.
I do see that the Sona is building into what I can only assume is the Athene's first item, as you would normally see on the Enchantress supports. More Pope going down mid lane, though. He has ulti. The Arnia is going to flash out, actually, and just barely get out of that Mega Inferno bomb.
The double fairy charm on the Misfortune's very interesting. I haven't seen that before, honestly.
Well, that's actually, yeah, that is really interesting. And back gets stopped by the... Oh, man, the back got stopped by the Trundle. This Hecarim's too low to come help. This Oriana's so dead. Oh, jeez. Sona almost died to the combo we were talking about earlier. I bet you Braum Q hit, and I bet you he pressed R. She's dead. So, the double Fairy Charm. Let me try and make sense of this, right? So, Fairy Charm, they removed mana pots from the game for a good reason. Mana pots in League of Legends were pretty oppressive. They allowed champions to continue trading in lane well past the point when they should. It let control mages, importantly, stay in lane and wave clear infinitely early game, and there was really no counterplay to it other than the fact that they spent 150 gold on pots. Fairy Charm does the exact same thing for 70 more gold over a longer period of time.
But the downside, though, I see from that is what a lot of ADCs do right now is they just go grab the biscuits. They grab the biscuits for the mana sustain, and that general sustain boost
My
is
finger slipped.
typically looked as enough. You don't typically need to invest the 250 gold for mana regen in lane.
Yeah, I agree. Though one thing to note though is you do sell fairy charms for 88 gold apiece, so it's only a 130 gold investment, which is what makes this such an interesting, powerful strategy. It consumes inventory slots more than it consumes gold.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if she doesn't have biscuits. Perhaps she's.
She doesn't. I checked the runes and she didn't run biscuits this game. She instead opted to go secondary sorcery with the Gathering Storm.
Nimbus Gathering Storm, right?
Yep,
So
absolutely.
that gives her more survivability against the Trundle ganks. So I guess this is the way of having the best of both worlds. You can have the mana regen, and you can have the Nimbus Cloak to survive the Wukong late game or the Trundle ganks, or get out of range of the Ash flows or something like that.
It's actually pretty genius.
Yeah, it's a really smart idea, and I'd love to see more people pick up random fairy charms when they need mana regen, because it's just so powerful. It's something I like. And harp on it again against, but like I'll do it on Ziggs and I'll do it on a lot of other mid laners, and people will, like, your teammates will spam ping you range for it, but it doesn't matter. Trundle, Hecarim coming in onto the Ziggs. The Orianna's there too. Orianna ulti hits the Ziggs in a really interesting sombrero play that works out. The cross map Ash Arrow will interrupt the Orianna though, but Hecarim's still alive. He's putting out damage. Wukong's almost dead. Hecarim will fall, but Trundle will fall immediately after. Wukong's running away with very little HP. Braum is dancing under turret because of the Sona ulti. But he will not fall. That's a 2 for 1. Top side of the map. Rift Herald will go over to the blue side. Anarchy Amber will pick up the Rift Herald and see if they can get any plates with that. They need to place it immediately if they want to get plate advantage off of this Rift Herald though.
They did get a decent bit of shutdown though off that Ziggs, which is something to look forward to.
Yeah, did you happen? Let me check who got that too, eh? Orianna actually picked up the shutdown on the Ziggs, which is actually, that puts her in a really good spot, gold and item-wise. Orianna's also got some of the most dynamic builds in the game, where obviously
picking up that Luden's Echo.
Yeah. Obviously she has to start with the Ludens. I'd like to see the Sork boots come out right now as well. Yep. But now whatever item she goes into next will color the rest of this game for her team. If she goes into a defensive item, they are looking to take reactionary team fights and looking to play her really aggressive, looking for ultis rather than just raw DPS and let the rest of her team output the damage. If she goes for something like the Alright, we got another fight going on bot lane. The MF gets hit by the Ziggs ulti. They both get knocked back. The Orianna ulti will pull the Trundle off of her, but it's not enough because Ash is still chasing down. 3-4 bot lane for both teams. They're all fighting Trundle. Alright, the Orn's dead. My brain has gone with my voice. Trundle will flash out, survive the Hecarim re-engage.
At this
Going Oblivion Orb is what I was trying to say. They're looking to push the turret. Trundle is not done fighting yet. He's looking for a pillar, but they will disengage. 2 for 0 for the side of Credible.
Currently, it just seems like Holk has the stronger front-back team fight, just because they were more established in that current fight. They had all their members where they needed to be at the moment, and then Ornn arrived a little bit late, and he got severely punished for it.
Yeah, just the trickle in from the side of Anarchy Amber, they really cost them in that fight. They wanted to, they want as well to have these front-to-back team fights, but they need the MF to be protected. They need her to be unassailable from the Trundle Pillar or the Wukong engage, and they need someone body blocking the Ash Arrow for her. And obviously, if the Ziggs gets a Satchel Bomb on her, that's even worse. One of my real concerns going into late game team fights, though, is going to be when MF starts channeling ulti, this Ziggs will press R on her. And as I mentioned earlier, it's going to do 1700 damage at rank 16 if you're in the center of it, and you will die instantly to it. The MF will be getting one-shot by this Ziggs combo, and there's honestly nothing you can do as an MF player to counterplay it other than wait for the Ziggs ulti to go down, which means you're waiting to ulti and you're in the team fight, which means you're not playing MF right.
It currently looks like they have a lot of hope in this Misfortune. Like, the Misfortune's can be their main
See the
state
fight
of
going
damage.
on top lane, though. It's really close. The Wukong has ulti. He's looking to solo kill the Ornn. He might get a Q off. And he gets the other ulti, and it doesn't even matter. He's already killed the Ornn. Ornn overstaying there and getting body blocked, I think, when he went out with his E.
And that was Wukong sitting up there with like 1k in gold also.
Yeah, his Blade of the Rune King is a strong item against tanks, guys. It's a very powerful power spike for this Wukong, and really showed it there by just destroying the Ornn. Hakrim's now, I thought that Trundle was on his team. Hakrim's getting domed. The Mega Inferno Bomb comes in, and they destroy that Hakrim, and now they're going to satchel charge and destroy this turret top lane.
Something that I failed to mention in the draft, though, is the sheer amount of turret pressure that Holk's team has. Trundle clears towers so fast, right alongside the Zig Satchel. So if they start roaming, they can just secure tower after tower. It's really impressive strategy.
Yeah, once they get, like, if Ziggs gets any alone time with your turret, it's losing half its HP or dying. And, okay, so, we see, we have a little bit of time before the dragon fight starts. Let's talk about Ziggs itemization here. He is going into the Haunting Guise, which means he's going for a much more late game scaling build, and maybe even going into the Rylai's third item. Means he's going to do significantly less damage. His ulti's probably only going to do about 1350 damage. But it does mean he's going to be absolutely unbearable for the tanks, and it's going to be super, super hard to catch them and kite into this team comp, because the Ziggs is going to be perma-slowing you with every single bomb, and he has massive one-shot potential, because you will get hit by every subsequent bomb if he's playing properly.
I think the Leandri's mask is going to be like a really important pickup, just because of how tank heavy that Anarchy is. They have both Braum, Ornn, and Hecarim, which are all relevant tanks. You know that Hecarim's going to be.
We see the Orion coming in. Absolutely great Orion into the MF ult, onto 3. The team fight's progressing though. Sona's dead. They're engaging onto the Trundle. They're almost killed the Trundle. They've killed the Ashe. It is 5 dead on the side. Incredible Holk and a pentakill coming out for the MF. Where the hell did that come from? Holy cow!
That was beautiful.
I didn't even... That Orianna engaged too. Jeez. That Orianna flash ulted onto the Ziggs and pulled the Wukong out of his engage at the same time into the Ornn combo, into the MF ult, just melted them down, and then they just combo the last 3 on their own.
We just saw a beautiful case of what kind of fight that Amber wants to run.
Yeah, that's it, right there.
They want to run a fight where Misfortune can just sit back and do all the damage that needs to be done. Everyone preps for that.
We found the team fight. MF was not ahead. She was ahead in farm. I lied. All right, she's very ahead in farm.
Yeah, she was
not
sizably ahead.
She was not insurmountable.
But
she got a pentakill.
Off that fight alone, she just got like over 1,500 gold.
She got half an item, easy. Sell those fairy charms now, please. They're starting to hurt my eyes. But either way, buy a pink ward. Your teammate's begging you. Regardless.
That is a fair point.
You don't need both right now. But
with filling out your inventory, you're making it so you can't pick up those control wards, not allowing as much vision for your team.
Let's focus on the good parts of this MF. She's now got 2 completed items. She has by far got the most gold in this game, ahead of even this Ziggs, who was very, very far ahead before going into that fight. No one else is even remotely close to either of them.
Misfortune
the Ashe down at 1 item.
To be a huge and very impressive carry. We might be able to see a game that's led just by these 2 like Goliath damage dealers just sitting back and hoping that the team fight in front of them doesn't delete them instantly.
Yeah, and here's the issue too. We're at 3 dragons for Anarchy Amber.
Yeah.
And it's not Cloud Soul, it's Mountain Soul. Mountain Soul is a big deal. Mountain Soul only, obviously, second to Ocean Drake, shuts down Pokecom. Mountain Soul, I mean, Wukong's engaging 1v3 though, he will ult out. The Ashe Arrow comes in, it lands on the MF, the Ziggs ult is coming in, the MF is dead, so is the Hecarim, they're on to the Rob, they're onto the Orianna too. They're looking to get the kills, but the rest of the team is being held up by the Ornn and the choke point. Ornn will flash away, and he just saved his team. So hard distracting 3 members of Credible Hulk from chasing down his team. I have no idea who's going to win this.
I don't know either. Again, it's just a brute force team fight, back and forth. Just like last game, it's completely based off of how these fights conduct.
Oh, geez, these team fights back and forth. All right, so as I was trying to say, there's no way to get onto that MF, but when you do that and she gets Asheroed because they parted the Red Sea and it apparently went through Hecarim and her Braum to get to her. That does it. 3 seconds stun on her, into a Wukong engage, into a Mega Inferno Bomb, that'll deal with the MF. Let's hope for that to happen again for Credible Hulk's chances if they want to win this game. I heard Azanya's go off. That's from Stopwatch. That wasn't supposed to happen. But that's okay.
We talked about that earlier. It happens to all of us. It's just
trying to Trinket Ward, I believe. They are starting up the Baron here, but this is really risky. The Ziggs has got ulti up. And I'm pretty sure if the Zig's gonna ulti 3 of them, that's a massive poke damage. He's finished Leandre's too, they're all half HP. MF won't get any move speed anytime soon. The Ziggs is flashing in 1v5. The Orianna ult hits 2. The MF ult's coming back around, chunking them all out. Ashe is dead. Soda's dead. Ziggs is low. They're focusing on the Trundle, but they can't kill him. The Wukong's back in. He's turned the fight around.
wow.
That's I don't even know if Ornn's dead. I can't see because my Discord icon's over him.
Ornn is not dead.
That's a 3 for 2 in favor of Credible Hulk, but that was close. That Ziggs is crazy. He even lived.
He aggressively flashed at the enemy team, and he didn't get punished enough for it. He didn't instantly get shut down.
I wouldn't punish that. I'd be like, yo, that man's got something in his pants I don't want to see. That was insane. That all right. That play, that big play reminds me so much of the Shy in Worlds last year playing Kayle, flashing in as Kayle, ulting himself into 3 people for what I can only imagine is either Galaxy Brain or no reason tilt. And then he just kills 3 people and gets away with it. That's what this Ziggs is right now.
And
Ziggs is the Shy, by the way, if you didn't catch the analogy.
Yeah. A large reason why we got to see the Ziggs live there, though, is because I'm pretty sure he procced his stopwatch in that fight. And that made it so he just ignored all the misfortune ulti that was happening right above his head. And he proceeded to come back into the fight and do enough damage to wrap up 3 kills.
We're seeing posturing around Dragon Soul. Orianna gets chunked out by a Ziggs Q. Ziggs is just demolishing that. Hecarim's half HP from 1 Ziggs Q and 1 Ziggs Z. MF has to walk over the minefield to regroup with the team, and this is not looking good for a team fight start for the side of Anarchy Amber. The Ornn ult will come in. They need to engage here. They get it onto the Ziggs, but no one else. Hecarim's coming in. Massive Orianna ulti! It doesn't matter! Hope be damned! The MF is getting engaged on by the Wukong, though, but she will finish him off! They're onto the Ornn! The MF is dead, but the Ashe is still trying to fight! Can she kill the Ornn? But no, the Ornn kills her! It's just the Ornn versus the Trundle. It's a tag fight. Who's gonna win it? I can't keep shouting this whole time. It's really anticlimactic, but I think the Trundle's gonna win. Willie, they'll both back up. Oh man, who's gonna win this fight? They should really reset. Trundle smites the dragon for HP. Ornn's trying to run away. Killer's gonna be up really soon. Ornn tries to turn the fight on the Trundle. Will he get the E off in time? He will get the E off in time, and he will be able to chunk the Trundle, but the Trundle's running away and no one will die.
That was quite the fight, and it was looking to be in Hulk's advantage there, especially with how chunk they were getting from the Ziggs' consistent poke from both Leandre's Torment and the Ludens. It just kept on poking. The Hecarim was over half health gone before the fight had even begun. So it was really impressive seeing the turnaround.
But this is the story of Orianna ultis. The MF may have gotten the pentakill, and she may be the one getting all the glory in this game, but these Orianna ultis onto the Ziggs, onto the Ashe, onto the carries have been absolutely absurd. Catching 2 carries with every single one of these Orianna ultis, at the very least, in every single team fight, is just giving Anarchy Amber their only way back into this game.
Something I would like to see though is, since we've been consistently seeing these awesome Orion ultis, the Ornn to hold onto his ulti until after the Ori ultis.
Ornn's engaging again, looking for the kill. The counter engage from the Wukong forces the Ornn off of his ulti. He's getting chunked out. Wukong's doing a lot of damage though. Ziggs is really low. The Trundle is Hecarim's dead. Wukong's killed Orianna. MF has 2 kills in return though. It's just MF. MF versus the world in 4 versus 1, 2, 3. Alright, it's just MF versus the 3 of them. That will be the Mountain Draken going over to the side of Credible Hulk. Oh.
So, as I was saying though, the Ornn's been using his ulti to consistently try to beat the engage, but I think he should wait for the team fight to actually engage and see where everyone's positioned, so you can land a consistent brittle across the entire team and then knock them all up.
I understand where that's coming from. I think the issue with that is this Ziggs is poking way too hard, and they need to force fights immediately. And he's just feeling very pressured to get the Ornn ulti off before they get chunked out. And it's like really, it's sort of coin tossy, but you almost have to do that at this point. And the Trundle's stealing the blue buff, and the Hecarim tries to come and steal it. He can't take it back. Trundle will walk away with the blue buff. We're all fine here, no fight starting. Trundle trying to back on a ward. He'll leave in the end. There's still 1 dragon away for Anarchy Amber from that Mountain Soul. And once they have that Mountain Soul, we can do what you were talking about, where the Ornn just saves his ulti. Wukong engaging on, I think Ornn will just get away from this, it'll be fine. Once they have the Mountain Soul, they can survive the Ziggs poke nearly indefinitely. So long as the same person doesn't get hit twice in a row, they should be okay.
So far, it seems like the Hecarim's building to get right into the backline and trying to like one-shot / assassinate the squishies. So that might come into Anarchy's favor with being able to one-shot a Ziggs and take him out of the fight, or take out someone important like the healer or even their frontline DPS.
Absolutely. We see Orianna getting jumped up at Trundle. She's like, I don't know what I do against Trundle. Almost another massive Orianna ulti, and I think that would have even one-shot the Sona just straight up from full HP. But it doesn't quite get off in time, and Orianna's now down with Baron on the map and a 4 vs 5 advantage for Credible Hulk.
Okay, well, looking at the goal differences, it's very set up for the carries on Hulk's part. Ziggs is up 2k gold, and the Wukong's also up to about 2k gold.
See, it's Baron starting here, and there's no contest coming out of Anarchy Amber. I think they just plan to give this up, or they're being caught unaware, but the massive MF ulti comes out and it one-shots the Sona, but I don't know if that's going to be enough for them to take the fight. The Wukong's teleporting in, stalling, onto the MF. She flashes the Ziggs ulti, that would have killed her, but the Wukong is still there, still trying to escape. He won't live, but they will stall long enough for his team to secure the Baron.
Great work on behalf of Anarchy with being able to bully and harass the Baron there.
Absolutely. Ziggs chunking out the rest of the team, though. That Ziggs still massive. No ulti yet, but ulti will be up in about 15 seconds for that Ziggs, and when that comes up, he's looking for a kill. And MF will come. The Ash Arrow connects on MF. The pillar's on her. The Trundle ulti's on her. She's going to burn down the Trundle ulti. And then the fight keeps continuing, and Ziggs has blown up everyone. They're all dead. That's a 4 for 0 in a 3 vs 4.
I can't say I expect
they might just push to win the game here.
I don't think they can quite push to end, but they'll certainly at least get the inhib if they want. About
20 seconds on Hecarim. That's the first carry. The Orianna by the Trundle pillar. They're going in. Big Inferno Bomb's a little short, and Orianna will live. But she's still being chased down by the Trundle. She'll ult Trundle back under the turret, but he'll live. He's just too tanky for now. They take the first inhib. They're looking at the Nexus turrets. They're seeing what they can do. Trundle's up in 4 seconds. That's a Hecarim. That's what I meant to say. They killed the turret, and they're backing up.
Okay, so I think it was smart for Holk to back out here, especially considering they have the current gold lead, and they could just reset and try again with another team fight. Like all these team fights have been rather successful, aside from when they get poked out by a huge ulti from Misfortune. So as long as they can play around that ulti and not have their entire team under it, which is the
Pretty
whole
hard
name of the game.
sometimes. With the
But
Orianna ult hitting the way they are, it might actually be pretty hard to do that.
that if they can somehow avoid that, they definitely can just win a fight overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And ding, 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 the Ziggs has hit level 16. We see MF looking for Trundle, but he'll just pillar away and live. Ziggs, just want to point out, current ulti is doing, before death cap, 1170 damage. And he has quite a bit of, he has some reasonable penetration. MF does not have enough MR to stand up to it. So that's practically true damage. MF will take half her HP or more to just a single ulti. And then as soon as that Ziggs death cap is completed, she will probably just die outright to it. And that's what we got to be really scared of for the MF here. We see the Ornn ulti coming out looking for an engage. Wukong will counter engage the ulti doesn't come out, but the huge Mega Inferno bomb onto the back line. Wukong still trying to do damage. MF ulti is canceled by the Trundle. They're chasing it down. They can't kill anyone. MF ulti was not good enough. They're gonna get the win here. The Ziggs going on to the MF. It's a 5-0. Incredible. Holk will walk this game down and end our day on a win for themselves.
So the huge thing that I noticed in that fight was the Wukong. The Wukong canceled out so much CC that was outgoing. That made it so that Misfortune wasn't able to set up an ult like she had in the past. I think, honestly, the Wukong was definitely an underspoken player here.
Yeah, the Wukong got a lot of shoutouts in team fights, but not a lot of shoutouts in between them. He did so much in these team fights to help secure the win for his team here. Going in, knocking up the right people, distracting at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to discredit. There were at least two, excellent Ashe arrows from the Ashe coming in. Cross map, sniping out the MF. I do not believe they win the game without both of those Ashe arrows onto the MF. I believe that they're able to get Mountain Soul at some point. They're able to get Baron. They're able to snowball that win. But just really great spots, honestly, from the Ashe player. Great engages from the Wukong. Trundle's just sitting there, being a chungus, being super tanky. Ziggs hit great poke, too. And honestly, I didn't get a lot of time to watch the Sona, so I can't even tell you. I don't think they made misplays, and I certainly didn't see them get caught, which means a lot for a Sona player anyways.
The bot lane, we gotta give a lot of credit to Anarchy's ADC, though. He did so much damage. He was very dominant throughout lane phase, and honestly, that penta, amazing. It's really great to cast a game where there's a penta. So.
Yeah, and I do want to obviously give credit where credit's due. Everyone in this game honestly did their job.
Yes.
It was a battle of teams who knew how their comps worked and tried their best to execute them, and it comes down to like really, really small mechanical micro mistakes. It might come down to, and I'm not accusing anything of this sort, I'm saying there might have been a spot in this game where Ornn missed a good ulti. I don't know. There might have been a spot in this game where Braum missed a really weird flash ulti play or wasn't able to properly block a Ziggs skill shot. There might have been a spot in this game where Hecarim could have ghosted behind the enemy team, got a weird flank ult off, pushed the Ashe or the Ziggs into an engage. All of this stuff, but it comes down to such small margins. Like these Orianna
at this point, we're playing with what ifs. We're playing with what if this happened, or what if this that happened. But in the end, the result was a Holk victory. And
exactly. And it just comes down to that, like the small micro decisions. One out for Holk. I think their team comp scaled a little better, and we saw that towards the end there too. I think MF always has a little bit of a hard time team fighting late game when team fights are super mobile and there's no Jarvan or something of that sort to control the enemy team. But
it seemed like Holk had a lot of tools to stop a Misfortune ulti in general. So like they had a lot of abilities that they could target where she's ulting, and if she doesn't move, she's gonna get punished wicked hard.
All right, awesome. So that was a great game to end the night off on. A great series to end the night off on. This is Baby or Hunter and Shadow We'd like to thank you for watching with us today. I think the stream was probably nearing 8 hours now. Lots of fun games, lots of fun casting. This is my first time casting League of Legends. I haven't got a chance to do it in the past, and my voice is regretting it a little bit, but I'll be back next week and probably have some better vocal training by then so that I don't do this to myself. Uh, so,
Gotta say, this man did a great job for casting today.
yeah, for
So,
Seal, for my co-casters, for my producers, the Tribunal, all the people watching, and all the players who are a part of our great league, thank you for coming, and we'll see you next weekend.
night.